Hey guys, this is Kanan with Sunshine on a Dime. This past weekend we went to the Sarasota Medieval Fair. We had so much fun. Now in Tampa they have one called the Tampa Renaissance Festival. And that usually runs sometime in March, I think. But this one here is in the early mid-November. Perfect weather. And we had so much fun. If you've never been to a Renaissance Festival or a medieval fair, anything like that, I really recommend you do it at least once. I'm sure you'll get addicted. They're a lot of fun. I've been several times. One of the neat things about this trip is whenever we were walking around, we started talking to some of the people that were wearing the costumes, and we started talking about the kind of foods that they ate back in the 1400s. We started talking about the clothes that they wore and just how it was to live back in those days. And we learned a lot of really cool facts about this. And at the end of the video, I'm going to put some information up on some of the stuff that we learned. But until the end of the video, I hope you enjoy what we shot. We had so much fun doing it. Some of the shows were absolutely hysterical. I mean, we had so much fun. It really was a great time. I can't say it enough. But at the end of the video, we'll talk about some of the really cool stuff that we learned while we were there, and some of the little facts that we spoke about with the people. But I hope you enjoy the video, so we'll see you soon.
I'll give you this, that hurt. I think it needs some legs. more now. Making this awkward. Make this awkward. Actually, if you focus on Jenga, Jenga's the game, and take out we actually don't call Jenga. Oh. Jenga!
I gotta take it off.
Take it off!
Give it up for my candy! Oh, they were done. Yeah, all right. I got it. Oh, that was my mating call. Hi, guys. How you guys feeling? Can I show hands? Who's drunk? That is good to know. By a show of hands, who wishes they were drunk? By a show of hands, who's hot? By a show of hands, who thinks we're hot? Who's drunk? It's the same people over there. Sharing is caring. Good. Give it up for that woman. You know what? I can get more for my cousin. More for my cousin. That is cider. That's not even beer. All right. Sharing is caring, sir. Sharing is caring. Yes, my cousin will. This is sharing. Really, Bud Light? Come on. He's watching his girlish figure. Sharing is caring. Thank you. Oh my God, this is gonna be awful. Look at all of a sudden, all the men started putting their beers between their legs. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring, lady. All right, sharing is caring. Well, look at it. What's wrong with? No, water. Water. We're gonna drink water now. No. Did my cousin? Yeah. Trust me, it's amazing. I made it myself. Oh, really?
You made it yourself. I don't want it.
Hold on, let me give you back your Bud Light, sir. There you go. That's your Bud Light.
When it comes to roar, Sir Jason!
The medieval timeline. The medieval times encompasses one of the most exciting and bloodthirsty periods in English and European history. The timeline for the medieval period details the major events significant to the lives and the events of famous people and the kings and queens of England and Europe. The medieval timeline starts at 1066 AD with the Battle of Hastings and the Norman conquest, and ends in 1485 with the death of King Richard III at the Battle of Bosworth Field. Medieval peasant clothing. In the Middle Ages, clothing and fashion, including the medieval peasant clothing, like everything else, was dictated by the pyramid of power. Medieval clothes provided information about the status of the person wearing them. The clothing and the fashion during the medieval times into the Middle Ages was dominated and highly influenced by the kings and queens of the era. The medieval daily meals for the lower classes. The staple diet of the lower classes were bread, pottage, which was some type of a stew, dairy products like milk and cheese, and meats like beef, pork, or lamb. The punishment for poaching could result in death or having hands cut off, so the lower classes would only poach if they were absolutely desperate. In medieval times, because most homes were not built with ovens, they were only built with stoves for heating, they would go into town or the villages and use communal ovens to bake their goods. Medieval music and musicians. The troubadours. Troubadours were originally traveling musicians. The early troubadours traveled from one village to the next, and many also traveled abroad. The role of the troubadours changed as part of the elite society of royalty and nobles. In the 11th and 12th centuries, troubadours and minstrels were the poets and the musicians that influenced medieval music.